Yeah.
Hello, I'm Natalia and I'm going to talk about my film opening. First of all, I'm going to talk about the film Synopsis. So my idea was about a girl who is 6 years old, and she basically was born and lives and has grown up in a house in the mountain, and she has never been in the city or seen other people. Like, she has been trapped because her mother had traumas from her past or something. So she's always been playing in the garden and has always been living there with her mother. And one day she decides to go into the forest because her dream is to be in the woods and see the trees and animals and nature. And she reaches a point where she can see like the view of the city, and she discovers this whole new world and place which she would want to visit. And she visits the same place as she grows up. And then one day she will decide to escape without her mother knowing and visit the city, and there she will live many adventures. So to know what to do my film about, I did a survey with 50 responses, so it was quite valid. And first of all, the age group that had the most votes was from 12 to 18 years old, which had 80% of the votes. There were also other adults, over 40, or some kids. So I think that my film is for any age group, but mainly for teenagers. Then the topics that were most voted were love, friends and family. Love was the most preferred. And mine is going to be a combination of all. It will have love with family or nature, friends, because the girl will meet new people in the city, and also family with her mother and everything. Then the genres that people preferred were comedy, action and romance. However, I decided to do mine about drama, although it also has a bit of action. But drama was also quite voted. Then some important elements for the audience were especially the interesting storyline. Also the actors or the title or the quality of the shots. However, the interesting storyline was like the most important thing for everyone. Having an interesting story which engages them and is powerful. Then the music that people preferred was pop. So it's the one I will use. It had 22% of the votes. And the title to be attractive, the most important thing was especially the name itself. Having an interesting name which can catch the attention, although typography is also important. Then, for my genre, I did some research for the one I chose, which was drama. I found out that it has some development of realistic situations in which characters like get the audience to empathize with them and get to know them, and they are also like realistic situations which we can like feel part of. Also, it's intended to be more serious than humorous, and some elements that have to be considered are the characters, the relationships, the ambience and the mood, or the metaphors that it may have. And well, as I said, it can show real life situations that everyone could live, and also it has tension and they include conflicts or difficulties, etc. Then some film openings that could be useful in the drama genre are backstories, flashbacks, showing that something already happened, or the narratives, someone telling the story. The one I chose was the backstory, which basically shows the girl growing up along the film opening until she becomes a teenager. And this can get the audience to know like her background story, her history and her family and what she was like when she was younger. And some of the misses in the drama genre are the decor. I will film mine in the forest, in a house in the forest, in a mountain. Also, I will have a combination of high key lighting and low key lighting. Like, I will try to make a contrast between the forest and the city to show how the forest is like the place where she was trapped, and then the city will be high key, so you can see the difference to when she sees reality. Then for my planning, first of all, the title, I was between some of them, which were Dreams, or I Wish, or Sweet Adeline, and Apprentice. The one I finally chose was Sweet Adeline. This is because I think it's like a title which fits into the general idea of the film, which talks about the life of this sweet girl, who is very innocent. She has always been living in the house. She knows nothing about the world that surrounds her, or about anything, so she's like very innocent and doesn't really understand the danger that life could have. So I think it really fits into what the story is telling and can also attract the audience. Then the tagline I used for this movie was "See what you've been missing." This is because the film shows the way in which Adeline had no idea about the world that was surrounding her. She was always living in like a lie, and she had been missing all the things that normal people usually live as they grow up. So when she finally sees the city and she goes there, she starts realizing things and finding out new things. My plot synopsis, as I've said, this is explaining the film, and some narrative theories that are recovered in the film are told off. This is because there's like an equilibrium in Adeline's life, but then there's this change in which she sees the city and she finds out this whole new thing, and then the equilibrium changes and there's like a new equilibrium in which she knows that there's something out there. Then also Levi Strauss, because there is like an opposition between the reality for most of the people and her own reality in the mountain. And also Field, because there's causality, there's something that causes a change, which is her finding out this view. So there's a change in her way of thinking and what she does. This is the risks. No. This is my storyboard, which shows what I will be shooting, the different shots and movements I will have, what happens in every shot and every scene, and what it will cause in the audience. Then my script, in which I put everything, the dialogue, there's no much dialogue, what every character says, and also what they're doing while they are saying it. The equipment I will use is mainly a camera to film everything, dolls for the kid to be playing in the first scenes, and a tripod to have a steady shot and make it smooth. And then in La Coma, because it has a very good place in which you can see the whole view of Castellón. And then the production company is the one I created, which is MK Productions. They are my initials, Natalia, and the distribution company is Walt Disney Pictures, because I was inspired by some films like Maleficent or Pete's Dragon, which are in this distribution company, which are more of a fantasy film. However, this one also like shows a story which is not as real, but still has real features. And then finally, for my pre-production, I had some characters and castings. Then, as there is COVID, I did not have like physical castings. However, I talked to several candidates and I asked them to show me what they could do. And then I sent some emails, and I sent also some letters to have their permission because they are underage people, and some agreements of the timetable that we will have. So the characters I needed were Adeline. She has to be 6 years old, 10 years old, and 16 years old. So I had 3 girls that are quite similar between them. Then the mother and the teacher. So these are the permission letters that the parents had to send. And the agreements were that we're filming the 27th, 28th, and 29th of December in Las Palmas, La Coma, and in the city of Las Palmas, and between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. This is the risks that I may have. First of all, falling in the mountain, because the girl is going to have to run, so maybe she falls or trips or something. So we'll make sure that everything is clear so she doesn't fall and that she'll be careful. Then also for COVID, we have problems. For example, we'll have to wear masks and we'll have to have distance so we don't get infected if someone has COVID. Then also, maybe it's cold because now we're in winter, it's in the mountains, so it could be chilly, so we'll have to get jackets and make sure that everyone's warm. And also maybe there are insects, so we could have bug bites, but we will get some sprays or something if there is an issue. And finally, the production schedule shows the different timings and when I will film every scene, the location, and then the dates and the characters, which I've already talked about. So this is everything. Thank you very much.